I have a confession to make. I am absolutely dog shit at remembering people's names, and same goes for TV characters. This might surprise some people who have been following my content for a while because I rarely get characters' names wrong in videos. This of course is because I'm reading from a script, so it usually doesn't much matter if I can't recall a character's name until after I've finished the show. But just yesterday, as of writing this script, I was given a bit of a wake-up call in the form of a little 6-episode OVA by the name of Diebuster. And before I continue, I want to emphasize that this video is intended only for people who have seen Diebuster as well as its predecessor Gunbuster. Again, they are only 6 episodes each, it's not a big commitment, and if you continue without having seen them, you will be missing out on exactly what I did. Cool? Cool. So since only people who have seen these videos are still watching, I'm not gonna bother to summarize them. Instead, I'm gonna skip right to the ending of Diebuster and say that I didn't realize that the 2 returning Buster machines and pilots were in fact Noriko and Kazumi from Gunbuster, and thus that Diebuster takes place during the time that Noriko and Kazumi are off having their time dilated. And this was because I never memorized Noriko's name, and so I had no idea who Nono was referring to when she mentioned the name Nonoriri, which in retrospect is obviously just her stuttering trying to say Noriko. And this is kind of a big deal considering the big mind-blow moment of the series is in realizing exactly how the prequel and sequel are related to one another, and I completely missed out on that. I had seen numerous people build these 2 shows up as an utterly classic dialogy which had single-handedly shaped the mecha genre back in the late 80s and then again in the 2000s, and one that everybody in their right mind needed to watch. And I mean, it was good, it was really good, but I didn't think it was a classic. So, after finishing Diebuster, I searched up Gunbuster and Diebuster into YouTube, partly out of a desire to hear other people talk about that thing I just watched, but also because I wanted to hear people explain why they love Gunbuster and Diebuster so much. So, of course, when I saw a podcast seemingly about exactly that, which was also made by the Procrastinators, a group that I've been a fan of for years, and the main group that turned me on to watching the Busters, I immediately clicked. Ben and Tom gush about the 2 shows for a wonderful 70 minutes, and among those 70 minutes they discuss the ending and how absolutely fantastic it is, which is what informed me of the true nature of Diebuster's final minute of screen time that had initially flown way over my head. And after hearing that, my confusion had been cleared up, however, it would soon be replaced by a somber realization.
If you did listen to this and you spoiled it for yourself, now you can never experience the joy of a first time seeing Diebuster. But you can tell you will have to experience it vicariously by strong-arming people you know into watching them, and you're just gonna have to watch and see their reaction, so you can think, God, I wish that were me.
You'll be like the twins chasing the eternal topless. You'll be chasing the eternal rush of experiencing that ending to Diebuster.
Yes.
I may now understand how and why other people feel the way that they do about the Buster OVAs, and may now be able to articulate that feeling to other people, but I'll never be able to realize that Diebuster's ending is Gunbuster's ending, but from the perspective of completely different characters, all at once enriching both stories by virtue of their relationship to one another. I missed out on that because I am completely capable of being totally stupid when I watch a show. And it's not just the name thing, it's also just me missing lines of text that I should not be missing. For example, I somehow didn't catch that Noriko and Kazumi had been gone for 12,000 Earth years, even though the show flashes this giant banner on screen. Somehow, I just thought it was like 15 years again, or something. Or did I mention that I was never even sure if Gunbuster and Diebuster took place in the same universe? The characters just looked so different, and the whole being topless thing wasn't present in Gunbuster at all. So I guess I just forgot that this was a sequel. I'm not posing all of this as if it were some sort of plight that I suffer from. I consider this to be my fault. I think I've literally just become complacent with not paying attention to certain aspects of shows, because I know that if I ever care enough to talk about them, I can just look it up or rewatch the part of the show that I want to talk about. I've taken out many segments in different videos in post-production over the years because after going over footage while editing, I realized that I completely missed a line of dialogue or something that rendered my entire point worthless. I've even scrapped videos altogether because of this. I don't mean to advocate that everyone needs to be fully intellectually engaged with a work, else you risk missing your chance of having a one-time experience with that work. In fact, the opposite is often the case. However, I would encourage you, dear viewer, to try a little more to make yourself aware of when you might have stumbled across the opportunity for an experience like this, that way you don't waste it like I did. This is the first video of mine that I'm making from my college dorm, so forgive me if it seems a little rough around the edges in many places. I kinda just wanted to get something quick out there so that I can figure out what the process of making videos at university will be like, so hopefully any wrinkles will be ironed out soon enough. You can support me on Patreon and get a bunch of rewards, yada yada yada, and I know I'm supposed to save the reading names aloud bonus for the $10 tier, but I can't help but make an exception this one time to thank KJK Comics for becoming my first patron. I appreciate the support very, very much. Thank you. I'd also like to give a big thank you to my friend Select who provided the music for this video. Go check him out, link in the description. Of course, you can subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of future uploads on this channel, like, comment, etc. I hope you have a wonderful day, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.